Hey, I'm here with a list of demands. Follow the show wherever you listen. Subscribe, share, like, and comment on the show on YouTube. Follow any and all of my social media as well. All of the links are in the description. And finally, if you're a real fan, which most of you aren't, head on over to buymeacoffee.com, use the link in my description, and buy me a goddamn coffee. It supports the show, which is me. So you're supporting me. Now that you've successfully ignored that, go ahead and enjoy today's episode. Hello there, everybody, and good morning. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. I don't know that the break from this podcast could have come at a better time. All of my equipment seems to be failing me. I just bought this brand new fucking hard drive, and it just shut everything off on me. But we're gonna keep it pushing for these next couple weeks. Hopefully, we can make things happen. I want to round out the end of the year with some podcasts for you guys. I don't want it to end too soon, and of course, it's not ending forever. Right? It's not ending forever. It's just a big break, a welcomed break, I think. I think it is going to be I think it's going to be good. I think when we get back on the air, things are going to be similar, but they're going to look a little nicer, a little nicer, a little more finesse on the production end, maybe a little more modernity on the production end, A lot of my shit is old. Or it looks old, right? Nobody wants to look at me in this gritty fucking 720p camera. It looks terrible, right? You guys want to see how bald I actually am. You want to see how terrible I fucking look. Actually, the craters in my face, the size of my big nose. You want to be able to see these things in at least 1080, right? We're going to try for 4K, but we need, things need to look a little bit better. The microphone, you want to be able to hear me breathe even when I'm holding my breath. You want to hear my lungs screaming while I'm holding my breath after I hit my new Nick stick. So good. I think the microphones are fine, but what's really going to happen, guys, is I am going to get all new equipment. We're going to have a new setup once we move. The idea is to get it come April, to restart the show in April. I think I said that last time, but we're going to see. We're really going to see because it's very dependent on me paying my debt off, because the whole new setup is going to be on the credit card, baby. On the credit card. Listen, I've been in, at the height of it, probably around $6,000 in debt. I'm probably going to finish this year with under $4,000, right? Maybe well under $4,000. We're going to see how the fuck it plays out. And then, obviously, there's going to be a few months of buffer in terms of trying to find a job and going to New York and all this shit and driving all over the place and then actually moving. There's going to be some money spent. It's going to be from the savings. It's not going to be a huge deal. But the point is the break is coming at a great time because the equipment is failing, my mind is failing, my creativity in terms of this show is, I don't want to say it's lax, but it is a little bit, right? It's on the, lax is probably a good term, mainly because I don't have guests anymore, right? It's just me. I'm on here trying to be entertaining for an hour twice a week. It's not easy. It's something that I want to get better at, and obviously the more you do it, the better you get. But I think that this break is welcomed because now that I'm kind of trying to get my routine back in place, the routine that got messed up by the holidays and by getting sick. I spoke about it last episode. I don't want to tear your ears off with it again. But now that I'm trying to find a routine again, and now that I'm back doing comedy a little bit more regularly as opposed to condensing 3 spots in one night and then forgetting about it the rest of the week like I was doing a couple weeks ago, now it's like we're back out every night. We're going to try and do what we can. And I found that getting back up, it's like going to the gym. You ever go to the gym and you take a couple weeks off and you come back and you think you're going to be weak as fuck and then you're lifting the same weight or more, right? It's like it was good. It was a good refresher. And but the difference between the comedy break and this podcast break is that the podcast break is going to be much longer, right? It's going to be months longer. And there's going to be tons of research done in that time. I'm hoping to take this podcast somewhere else. It's going to require a big investment of money, one that I'm willing to make. The only reason I'm willing to make it is because it's free, non-existent money, right? Isn't that the best kind of money? Non-existent, free. It's great. It's like crypto, right? Money that you could just make out of thin air. That's kind of what debt is. You just debt it, and then eventually you pay it off with some actual money. But in the meantime, you're like, wow, this is nice. I can't use my credit card for 6 months, but this is good. Look at all the stuff I just bought when what I make doesn't even come close to what this is. It's going to be good. It's going to be good, guys. It's going to be a good break, and I feel like I'm going to come back better. I feel like the show is going to be better. I feel like the whole thing is going to be nice. And that's that. But speaking about fake money and crypto and all this stuff, I historically have been a skeptic in regards to crypto. I don't know much about it. I know some, right? I know that it's hilarious. I know that it's very funny. But for people, there's a lot of people who discourage crypto. Oh, it's not even a real currency. What even is crypto? It can't be a currency. That's just people making things up. Well, what do you think a currency is? What do you think a real currency is? There's no currency in the world that's backed by anything physical anymore, right? If I had to argue, I don't know that that's a fact, but if I had to argue, it would probably be true because of how much money there is in the world, just in general. It would be hard, right? It'd be hard to to physically account for all of the yen that there is in China. You follow just how it would be in the United States for dollars, or in England with pounds, Europe with euros. It's the same fucking thing. Money isn't backed by anything anymore. It is fake. Money is fake. It's been fake. And we live in the good old US of A, where we have historically phenomenal credit ratings. We are here. The country is built on debt. It's built on fake fucking money. That's what people don't understand. People want to get on the youngsters, right? The youngster, yes, I understand this guy, whatever the fuck his name is, the head of FTX. He's a grimy son of a bitch, okay? And he's exposing the problems that having a currency model that anybody can create, they're exposing the problems. I mean, now, it's not exactly enticing to a person that knows a little bit about finance, right? I went to school for it. I know some shit, right? Maybe a little more than the average Joe. It's not enticing to find a new investment vehicle that any person can create, right? Any person can create by themselves, or any group of people can create. It's a little unnerving to go and invest in something like that, when it's not like a piece of fine art, or like to come up with a currency is kind of a groundbreaking, new world, new age kind of idea, right? Now, you're probably saying, well, Antonio, you're kind of refuting your last fact about how countries and governments just create their own currency. What's the fucking difference? Well, the difference is, even though all those people that throughout the years have created currencies, the ones that we're used to, the ones that we use on the daily, right? Even though those people are soul-sucking, profit-hungry leeches whose best interests are only for themselves, not even their families, pretty much just for themselves, not for the people they govern, not for any of the people that elected them, or at very least trust them to uphold their fucking, their society and their civil. Even though the people that created the currencies that we all know and love are soulless, dead-eyed suits that walk around without a care in the world other than finding a way to deepen their pockets. At least they've done that, right? At least they have gotten to a point of power that they can decide. They're up here on us, right? They're somewhere above. They're kind of like believing that gas is made of particles, right? It's kind of like believing that air is around us. We know that there's overlookers and overseers and the people who make the choices on the rates and the people who control the federal bank and whatever the fuck it is. We understand that they're there, and they're there through a big bureaucratic hierarchy that only allows so many people in, but those people that are there have a long history of oppression and making major decisions that'll alter the lives of thousands, if not millions, of people at the flip of a fucking coin. They have some kind of backing, right? If you want to learn about ancient Egypt, you find a historian, right? You find yourself a historian. Regardless of whether, some of the things they say are controversial or whether, you find a guy that has done it, he's lived it, right? Maybe he went to Egypt and did some fucking archaeological shit, okay? You want to find that. You want to trust that guy. So we as humans, we've we've totally given up our will, our free being to these entities to tell us, hey, this is what this costs, this is how much it's going to cost for you to do this. If you want to buy a house, if you want to get a car, if you want to go to school, these are what the cost of things are. These are the mechanisms in place that you'll have to go through to go ahead and do that. When you got 9 20-year-olds, okay, living in a house in the beach somewhere in the Caribbean, wherever the fuck they were, having big sex orgies, who are claiming to have infinite riches based off of a currency system that they created on their own. As an investor on the outside, it's a little tough to kind of buy that, And I get it. It's kind of information after the fact. I don't know if people knew that, where this kid got his funding from, what he was doing at his sex house and whatever. And it sounds like a great time. But my point is that if that kid wants to be able to shape the culture in a way that makes people invest in a currency that he's created, he's gonna have to do a lot more pillaging and stomping of livelihoods than what he's done already. But here's the thing: he's already gotten caught. The thing with these high-level business people, these high-level decision makers that we've put our absolute trust into to lead us down the path of righteousness and light and love and all these things that we hope, they have done a lot of bad things. They've signed a lot of bad papers. They've made empty promises. They've hurt the people that supposedly supported them or have shown them their support. They've really hurt them just to appease the people who are giving them money, right? The lobbyists. And that's the situation that's happening with FTX, right? The mom gave a bunch of money to the Democratic, I don't know if it was Joe Biden. It might have been Joe Biden. I don't know what it was. But the mom was a lobbyer for the Democrats, and which is why a lot of the stuff got swept under the rug and he had a good setup, guys. He had a good setup, right? A rich mom. He's a genius. Probably a little autistic, doing drugs, right? Amphetamines, supposedly. I heard they're all in this house fucking and doing amphetamines. I mean, there's worse things you could do, right? At 23, there's a lot of I don't know how old he is, early 20, might be 23. I think I saw 23. I don't even know his name, really. But at 23, there's already kids in houses with each other, fucking and doing drugs. He's not that far off from that, right? That's something he's supposed to be doing. But when you're managing people's money, when you're when you're allowing people to put their trust in you, it's a tough it's a tough seesaw act to be able to be a party animal, but also a businessman who also is trying to swindle people, right? Because the most successful business people, the most successful politicians, the most successful, powerful people are able to stab motherfuckers in their neck and then look at their family and gain their support. That's what it's supposed to be. They're supposed to send bombs to a country that they have convinced their followers, their voters, their buyers, their whatever, their customers, that they have convinced them that this country is fucking with us and they're trying to do, this is the point that I'm making. They're supposed to be able to be a wolf in sheep's clothing, if you will. And this kid was on his way to being one. If he had just tightened the right bolts in the right areas, then maybe he could have, figured. But it was a scam from the beginning, guys, right? A scam from the beginning. And I love a scam. I do. I love a scam. I love a scandal, right? A big, massive. I spoke about this recently. I love a nice, juicy, public, corporate business trial. The last one I spoke about was Budweiser in the World Cup or FIFA. This is a good one. This one is arguably better. I mean, you have all the makings of a great fucking story. You have a kid who's pretty smart, jumped on the wave, the wave of creating money out of thin air, got lots of investors, made a lot of noise, got people behind him. We're the new kids on the block. We're making fucking money. He got his narrative out there, guys. He got it out to people, but he got sloppy. The drugs, you want to do drugs and be successful, it's of course possible. It's very possible. It's infinitely possible. People can do that. People can do it, but you can't fuck up the scam. You understand? You can't fuck it up. You mean to tell me there aren't politicians fucking, just anybody, right? And it could be a scandal. Married politicians fucking people. That's supposed to be a scandal. They're not embezzling money. They're not stealing money, right? They're not twisting laws to make it sound like they aren't stealing money. They call it something else. They're, whatever. You don't think they're doing that? Of course they're doing that, but they keep it under wraps. They're fucking professionals. This kid, if he beats this fraud thing, if he beats it, then, hey, more power to him. He's got to get back on the horse and figure out what happens next. He's like the guy who did the Fire Festival. They were young, they made money, and they fucked things up. See, what happens is people get a vision in their minds. They get a vision in their minds, and it's tough. I do it all the time. You get a vision in your mind of where you want to be and how cool it would be to do this, right? How cool would it be if we just had a festival out in the fucking Bahamas, and that would be awesome, right? And then people just kind of, they sign off on it. People think it sounds good. It sounds like something they've seen before, and they sign off on it, and they're ready to go. And it's all what it is these kids are creating an image in their head, and we have the world at our fingertips nowadays, so we can literally do anything. We can do anything. This kid started money. He made a kind of money, made a bunch of his own money off of it, right? Lost countless millions, thousands, whatever the fuck, of other people's money in the process. Okay, if you're going to do those things, you got to have the right safeguards up. You got to have the right people in the right places. You can't have your spokesperson being Kevin O'Leary. Okay, Mr. Wonderful. You guys see this? He's part of the trial now because he was given $15 million to endorse FTX. You guys believe that? $15 million to encourage people to buy into FTX. How many people lost money off that? Who knows? He's fine, right? He's okay. He's defending the kid, right? I talked to him on the phone. I said, "Where's the money?" He said, "I don't know." And I believe him. He probably just doesn't know. He probably doesn't know where the money went. If he was a real string puller, He could have just changed the fucking rules. He could have had some insider and outsider trading, right? He could have gotten some artificial parity, if you will, right? He could have gotten the money, but he's not. He doesn't have the connections. He's just a kid. He bit too much off than he can chew. You want to have a big cross-platform, major monetary fucking scam. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of moving parts, okay? You need judges, you need politicians, you need corporations, right? You need to start greasing palms. You need to build a massive fucking law team, whatever. You got to build that. You got to get insurance on everything. You need a safe haven, right? Your own island somewhere. You have to find a way to make it happen. And this kid he was in over his head. Too much stimuli. It's like when you're a kid and you go to an arcade, right? You go to an arcade and there's lights all over the place and you get a drink of soda, right? You get a Coca-Cola and you just start running around. You got a pocket full of change and you play, you get tickets, and it's just too much. It's too much. You spend all the coins on one game and you're like, fuck, look at that cool shit I could have done over there. Look at all the other cool stuff. That's exactly what happened. He spent all his coins on one game, the amphetamine house orgy game. That's the only game, okay? You can't use all your cheddar on that, right? It's just like, same thing, same arcade analogy. It's the same thing, the kid who wins 5 tickets. He's like, I'm going to buy 5 things, 5 little things, or one thing that's 5 tickets, right? And whether you buy the 5 little things or the one thing that's 5, it would have made more sense for you to just keep it and come back and win again and win again and win again, and then eventually you get yourself a pop rocket or whatever the fuck, those little motorcycles, the ones that you could never get. They had them at carnivals. You played the ring toss or whatever, and you look up and I want that thing, but how many tickets you need? 3,000. You got to spend $200. That's if you win every fucking time. Might as well buy the pop rocket on your own. But yeah, the kid, he just cashed out. He gassed everything out. He played the one game. You can't do that, man. If you're going to be an international fucking scam artist, you have to do it the right. I mean, look at Jordan Belfort. Jordan Belfort is other than Bernie Madoff, right? Bernie Madoff, arguably the GOAT in terms of scams. He had to pull the plug on it himself. Nobody knew. Not everybody can be Bernie, all right? I mean, he's the top tier. He's the top tier of scam artists. He's number 1. Number 2, maybe you could put the Enron people, but you can't leave Jordan Belfort out of it. Jordan Belfort, if Bernie's number 1 and he's the GOAT, Jordan Belfort is the poster child, right? Jordan Belfort is the one that made it cool, right? Bernie, he had a family. He just hung his guilt in the back of his closet. He just kind of shoved it back there with all the hats that he got for Christmas that he never really wanted. All the I Heart Dad fucking sweaters that he got over the years. He just threw his guilt back there until one day he said, I can't do it anymore. And he told his family, and his son killed himself, and now he's in jail. Or he might be dead now. But he spent the rest of his life in jail. And that's what it was. Now, he kind of, I don't know which one is he. He kind of lost his longevity. He could have made it to the end, right? He could have probably done it to the end. I might be wrong in the fact that he pulled the plug, but I'm pretty sure he was the one who just came forward, right? The guilt just got too bad. But then you got a guy like Jordan Belfort, who in the movie at least showed zero guilt, right? And even he'll say it in podcasts, whatever. He's like, at that point in time, I was just so corrupted in my mind or whatever, doing drugs. And he was the one who made it fucking sick, right? There was little to no guilt. People were just fucking having a good... But they ran amok for 10 years, guys. Those guys ran amok for 10 years. Bernie, he had a company for maybe 20 years or some shit like that. He had a company, ran it normally, had a lot of money, lived a good life, sure, aside from the guilt. Jordan, though, Mr. Belfort, went crazy bananas for 10 years, okay? Running a scam for 10 fucking years while partying the whole time, and then getting out of jail, Getting out of a rich jail where you're playing tennis to come out and be able to start again. Now you got one of the best movies that's ever made in your likeness. You got 2 books that you were able to release. The book came out before the movie, right? The book was about his fucking life. Then he's got another book that came out after the movie. And then now he's got a podcast. He's got a brand. He's able to rebuild himself. People don't forget that he's a crook, right? You can't forget that he's a crook. You can't forget that he robbed and stole from motherfuckers. But he's the poster child, right? 10 years of hard fucking partying, going ham, right? Legendary shit. At least listen to the way that he talks about it. He's the poster child. It looks good. But it's tough now, man. It's tough to run a scam. That was the 90s, okay? That was the late 80s into the early 90s. He was able to kind of, spread it out, make it a little, but I don't know. I think with everything, it's just like with everything. You gotta be, even though there's more advanced ways to get caught, like it's harder to do criminal shit because there's better technology to find out where you're doing it from and how you're doing it, whatever. There has to be more advanced ways to get past those safeguards, right? There has to be more advanced ways to get profit illegitimately. There has to be, right? There's probably people doing it right now that we wouldn't even know about, and that's what it is. The kid he bit off a little more than he could chew. But I just think it's funny that Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, okay? I used to love Shark Tank. I used to watch Shark Tank. That's like my go-to show when I'm dating a woman and I don't know what to put on. Okay, and you're sitting around and you're like, I don't know. I don't want to go through this struggle. We're going to fall asleep, in a few hours anyway. What's the point of looking for a movie or looking for a show or whatever? Let's just put on something. So we're going to fuck anyway. So let's just put something on, and it'll be on in the background. And there's been plenty of times where I've busted nuts to Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, going, I'm out. And that's normally what I say when I pull out and I blast. It's like, it's perfect, okay? It's perfect background noise for sex. So it's just funny, right? Because you see Kevin O'Leary, he's known as the stern... he's known as the stern, shrewd businessman who gives the most convoluted deals. The deals that when you look at them, you're like, it's so complicated and convoluted that it for sure is mostly benefiting him, right? Like it for sure it's barely helping this other guy, right? People go up on the show and they're like, I'm willing to give 20% of my business for $200,000. Okay? Easy pitch, right? The other guys, they might come in, well, okay, how about, $150,000 or how about this, right? And they give him easy. Kevin O'Leary comes in, well, I'll do that. He, what did I say? 40% of the business for $200,000. He'll say, all right, well, I'll give you the $200,000, but I'll need 2.5% in perpetuity until it's paid back, and then I want $1 off of every unit sold for the next 10 years, and it's this big. He's like creating a contract in front of these people, and these people are usually modest people, right? They're private entrepreneurs. Some people have more time under the belt than others, right? Sometimes you get the farmer who goes on. I remember there was an episode where there was a farmer and he created this really cheap irrigation tool that keeps the water condensed to one plant so you're not wasting water. It was a real cheap piece of plastic, nice thing. Something that would help a farmer, right? Something that would help your local farmer. And you get that guy. And sometimes you get people who've been in the game for a little while and they want to get a little bit more investing and whatever. And Kevin O'Leary is like the Simon Cowell of the show. And there's been plenty of times where, he's said no to things or he's shit on people or whatever. And it's just funny to see him on a court stand, right? And they're asking him questions and they're like, well, did they give you $15 million to talk about FTX? You did promote them, didn't you? And he's it it's just funny. It's funny how he can just kind of skip over the fact that he was a driving factor in a lot of people losing money, right? When his whole career is based on him not losing money and trying to swindle people. Like, it's not a surprise. I think that's the point I'm trying to get at. It's not a surprise that Kevin O'Leary was on there. I would have been surprised if one of the other people on that show were up there, right? Even Mark Cuban. I wouldn't suspect. When I see Mark Cuban talk and I see him whatever, yeah, he's a billionaire, right? He's probably a cocksucker a little bit, but he seems like he's a little more down to earth, right? He seems like he's a decent guy. He doesn't necessarily wear suits. Yeah, he owns a basketball team and he's got more money than God, but he seems like he's a little decent, moral of a guy, right? He's got some morals. The other people, the lady, right? The woman, I forget her fucking name. She's on QVC. The other dude with the movie star hair, Hirscheffek, whatever. These guys don't seem like they might be stern business people, but they don't seem like crooks, right? And then you got Mr. Wonderful, who is basically taking lobbyist money, right? Essentially, he's not a politician, but he's a big name in the world of money and finance and media and the whole fucking thing. So if that guy signs his name on something, people are going to say, ooh, sounds good to me. So they're going to pay him. And he's getting off scot. I mean, who knows? He might get off. He might have a bigger involvement than what people are thinking. But he's pretty much just there to talk about the situation and to get his name run through the mud, which it should be. Now, did he know that they were doing some illegitimate stuff? Maybe, right? Maybe. He's in the know of a lot of things. He can probably claim plausible deniability. Maybe. I don't know. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe when he goes to jail and he gets released, he can look at the camera and say, I'm out. That would be funny. If he comes out with a big beard and long hair, right, and he's jacked up, and he comes out of jail and goes, I'm out. And then he's back on the show with a suit, but he's got long gray hair and a beard, and he's real jacked. He somehow still has a job on the show. It'd be funny. Very, very funny. Very good stuff. I'm back on the Nick stick. Not good. Not good, folks. Not good, the Nick stick. While I was sick, last week while I was in New York, I lost it. And, man, I can't tell you how good I felt until this past Tuesday and bought it again. I literally bought it because I was sitting there bored at an open mic. I'm like, fuck. I still have all this time. I'm not even going up early like I thought I was. I got to listen and sit here. I need to do something. I need to smoke. So I went and bought one. But here's the thing, guys. I think it's weird. I want to get rid of the vape, but I really enjoy smoking. I've said it on here 1,000 times. I might just do cigarettes. I might. Cigarettes, they're one of the coolest things that we as humans have ever created, okay? And I'm just going to go out there and say it. I know I'm not the only one thinking it. I know you're at home thinking it as well. Maybe you stopped smoking, but go into that catalog. Go into that old fucking photo book, if people still have those. Go and look at a picture of yourself when you were in college, right? And you were thin, you had a long head of hair, and you were sitting there smoking a cigarette, right? You were hot. All the ladies around you smoking cigarettes with the big hair, right? That's where you met your wife on a cigarette break outside of a club. You stepped outside, smoked a cigarette. She said, what do you smoke? Newports. Well, you going to give me one? And then that was it. You guys ended up having a family. How many families were started with cigarettes? There had to be plenty, right? That was a talking point back in the day. What do you smoke? Oh, well, I have Winston's, Oh, well, I smoke Cools. You like the Cools? It was like any other product, right? It's like when I pull this fucking thing out and I whack it, someone goes, yeah, what are you smoking? And it sounds way gayer, right? Lush Ice. I'm smoking Lush Ice. My grandfather smoked Marlboros until he couldn't breathe. Do you understand that? Do you understand the commitment? That is a good product, okay? We're given so many products in this world. all the time. Every day there's a new product. Try this, try that. Here's this, here's that. And then there's the tried and true products, right? A television, a computer, a bed, things that we all need, things that we all enjoy. I don't know that there is a product that compares to cigarettes, okay? Because cigarettes on the package itself, it says that it's bad for you, okay? And not in some hard to decipher way, right? It's not nutritional facts, right? Because even bad food, you could argue that bad food says the same thing, but it's not as blatant, right? You don't pick up a bag of Doritos and on the back it says this could lead to heart disease. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say it blatantly. Okay, you can look at the nutritional facts and you can make sense of it in your mind, right? You're like, okay, I have 2,000 calories for the day. I've eaten this much. Okay, I can spare 200 calories on a bag of Doritos, right? And you can rationalize it even though you know that it's bad for you. Yes? So, this is the same. This is even more prevalent with alcohol. Okay? Alcohol is not good for you either, but on the bottle it says nothing. Doesn't say anything. It says 21 or older sometimes, right? On the package it says whatever, 21 or older. And that is pretty blatant, right? The blatancy of no warning other than don't drink and drive or 21 and older is who it's for, right? There's nothing else on there that says that you could die. Cigarettes literally got legislated into putting warning labels on their packages to tell people, hey, if you do this a lot, you're going to get X. You're going to get lung cancer. You're going to get heart disease. You're going to get low birth weight. You're going to fucking whatever. You're going to get fucked up, okay? It says it on the package, and people still smoke it. People smoke them until they prove the package right. That's what it is. People will smoke cigarettes to prove to be a part of that fucking statistic. And there's part of me that really likes that idea, how dedicated a person can be, right? And I mean, it says it on these things as well. It says it on the nicotine sticks as well, but it's just not as cool, guys. I am mostly concerned with being cool as shit. That is my life. I don't have anything else. I don't have, I don't have insurance coming my way. I don't have any hot prospects for a good job. I don't have, any possessions worth noting to people. I don't have any of that shit. The only thing I have is my persona. And I want to be cool as a motherfucker. And I think cigarettes is the next step in my cool guy evolution. But here's the thing. I like exercise. I like to exercise. I like to get stronger. I like to see what I can do with my body. You got to take advantage of it for as long as you can. I like all that stuff. But I also like destroying it. I didn't get a tattoo on my foot because I think I'm going to live forever. There's some times where I just do shit, right? Where I go, a week where I sleep 3 hours a night because I'm out doing wild shit all the time, right? I stay up late, I drink, fucking, hang out with strippers, whatever the fuck I do, doing comedy, whatever, going to New York and taking a train ride home at 5 a.m. just to get back in my apartment. It's fucking 8 a.m., to go to work at 10 a.m. Like, it's all just part. I like doing that stuff too. But I feel like a cigarette habit is like the antithesis to going to the gym. Like, if you go to the gym and you smoke cigarettes, I don't know, it's like the camel that, it's like the straw that breaks the camel's back for me in terms of, bad substances, bad things you're doing to your body. It's hard for me to wrap my head around being someone that can be in shape, but also likes to smoke cigarettes regularly. Now, that dude in China who ran that marathon in like under a 4-minute mile, smoking a pack of cigarettes the whole time, I mean, that guy completely proves me wrong. But I don't know. I always have this. Maybe some of you guys see this as well. I have this like wrestling in my mind all the time of, I want to be healthy, but I also know that, everyone ends up in a box at the end, and it's a fucked up way to think. But I don't know. I enjoy cigarettes. I enjoy a cigarette. I'll probably have a couple tomorrow night at the open mic I do. I like bumming cigarettes from people, but that's the thing. I can't bring myself to buy a pack, just to have a pack of cigarettes and then just go out and fucking, I don't know, but they're so fucking cool, man. You look so good and they taste so good. You smoke them, you're like, they're way better than this fucking thing. I hate the taste of these things. I hate the taste of them. I don't understand why people enjoy smoking these fucking things. They taste like dog shit. They taste like candy. If I want candy, I'll go eat candy, okay? I don't want air that tastes like candy blowing about. But I do want it because I'm smoking it. But part of me wants that authentic smoke, If I'm going to get lung cancer, if I'm going to get fucking polyps on my throat, I want it to be from something good, something generational, goddammit. Something that runs in the blood. Come on. But back to my point earlier, my grandfather smoked cigarettes till they kill him. That happens to so many people. I mean, what dedication. And he lived to be, 76, I think? Hey, you want to complain? You want to complain. You get to 76. Now, here's the thing. You get to 76 doing what you want, that's a good life. You get to 76 doing what he was doing, working like a dog for, I don't know when he retired, 60 years, okay? Working like a fucking animal. Of course, the only thing that you look forward to is fucking cigarettes. Come on. I look forward to cigarettes after drinking and doing nothing, right? Being a fucking degenerate. That's when I look forward to smoking cigarettes, hanging out with my buddies and standing outside of an open mic, talking shit, smoking. That's what I like doing. That's when I like smoking cigarettes. I wasn't smoking cigarettes because I had to work 3 jobs to support a fucking family because we're immigrants. I didn't have to. He was doing it because it was one of the few things that he looked forward to in life, which is a lot for some people. Not just cigarettes, but that's the case for a lot of people. Right? Some people, their lives suck until they get that Big Mac. Right? There's one thing. Their life fucking sucks until they smoke weed. That's me. If I'm not smoking weed, everything sucks. And the weed is good, but I just feel like, I don't know, it's good. It's good to have cigarettes. It is good. And I can't believe I went 25 years without them, and I'm happy that I've been introduced to them the way that I have. I think that's what I wanted to get out in turn. So maybe once we come back in April or May in the spring, maybe I'll have a little cigarette habit for you guys. I don't know. We'll see. As long as the FDA doesn't get their grubby little hands in there like they want to. They want to get rid of the menthol. They already did in Massachusetts. I'm sure they have in other states as well. But it would be nice. It would be nice to become addicted to cigarettes. There's a new show. There's a new dating show. Do we have enough dating shows? I don't think we have enough of those. I don't think we have enough examples of how broken the relationship culture and dating culture has become in this world. I don't know if we have enough examples of broken human beings who are just lusting for fame at every turn, just trying every day to get a grasp on something, hoping that this show will add some meaning to their life. Maybe if they title it something, maybe if they make the show concept kind of a competition and I win it, then I'll feel better. Maybe people will recognize me for something other than being, the person that works at the post office. Now I'm on Survivor. Now I'm on Family Feud. And I know those aren't dating shows, but those are examples, right? But they have all the day, right? The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, just sick, sad, broken people who have no talent, who can find a way on television because they're attractive, they're hot. That's why they're on the show. There's no other reason. There's no that, and there's drama, right? We get to see whether it be the women arguing or the men arguing about it. And then they argue, oh, I don't think I did a good enough job with her tonight. I really liked her. I want to be with her. And I hope she picks me. And just these morons. It's a stupid concept. But what do I know? What the fuck do I know? I don't know anything because it's obviously a huge genre. Now, there's one that's coming out soon, and I guess it was inspired by an episode of 30 Rock. And now, I never watched 30 Rock. I don't know much about the show. I think comedies on network television typically suck. Supposedly, this one's good. Supposedly, this one is good. I never watched any of it. I know they've had some big names. I see memorabilia in comedy clubs all the time. I know Danny Glover. No. Donald Glover. Childish Gambino. I know he used to write for the show. Massive Renaissance man. If you don't know about Childish Gambino, I mean, he's a comedian. He wrote for 30 Rock. He, he's a fucking rapper, right? He acts. He's done a bunch of shit. He can do everything. But he, there's a show title. Oh my God. An episode. I apologize. There was an episode called Milf Island, I guess, and I know nothing about the episode. But what I do know is that there's a new dating show called Milf Manor. Okay, Milf Manor. I want to make sure it's the right thing. Okay. Now they're saying that it's inspired from that show, 30 Rock. I would argue that if they tried to do this show, say, 10 years ago, 5 years ago even, it wouldn't be, I don't know if it would be as popular. I don't know if people would care as much about it. I think the fact that there's been a massive rise in the MILF category in porn, I think that's what's drawing eyeballs to this, okay? Because the word MILF has always been a thing, okay? As far as I can remember, MILF always been a thing, but porn has really accentuated that idea, okay? Before that, all you had was Stacy's Mom, right? I'm Hot for Teacher, even before that, by Van Halen, okay? The MILF was just like it was like an idea, right? It was an idea. It was something you grew up with. Right? Everyone has that friend where you look at the mom and you're like, God damn. I know we're 15, Mrs. Johnson, but holy shit. I'd fuck the shit out of her. You know, and you tell your buddy when you're real young, you could say it to you. You're like, dude, I would fuck your mom. And then everyone gets in on it. Yeah, we'll fuck his mom. Then you feel bad. The kid gets bullied. Probably never recovers. But it's, it was, at one point, it was something that you just kind of, you saw it every once in a while. Oh, you imagined, right? If you saw an older woman that was out, you just called her a MILF. You didn't know if she was, you didn't even know if she had kids. You just kind of used the word MILF. Now, porn has revolutionized the term MILF. Okay? Porn has revolutionized the world anyway. Just the abundance of it, the fucking categories, there's something for everybody, whatever, right? But MILFs literally they're top of the heap when it comes to porn. In terms of categories, let's see if we can look this up. Let's see if we can find top porn categories. Let's see where MILF is at. Pornhub reveals 2021's, all right, so this was last year, 2021's most popular searches in America. Okay, I want to see a list. I don't want to have to read through things. All right, so MILF is number 3. Wow. Okay, MILF is number 3, and it's been that spot for a while. Number 1 is hentai. Oh, my God. Number 1 is hentai? That many people are jerking off to cartoons? We're more damaged than we fucking thought. Holy shit. Holy fucking shit. Hentai, number 1, 2021 Pornhub. Okay. Number 2 is lesbian. Interesting still. Lesbian porn, as far as a man goes, it's almost like, juvenile. You look at lesbian porn when you first start getting into it, and then you see them wear strap-ons, and then you take the leap and you watch guys fucking women, and you're like, well, I don't know if I can go back to the old stuff. I don't know if the lesbian stuff. That's what's weird, right? There's a weird shift in a man, where you go from you're able to watch lesbian porn and actually get aroused, and then there's a shift in a man's mind that goes, you know what, make this better? A rock hard cock. A big old schlong will make this porno better. There's two girls making love to each other. They look great. It's phenomenal, but we need a big, hard cock somewhere in there. A real one, too. It can't be a fake plastic one. It's got to be a real one attached to a real man. That's what we fucking need. Rock hard cock. There's a switch in the mind. It's probably a similar switch that happens when you stop caring about being naked in public locker rooms. There's a switch that happens there as well. And then there's degrees to that switch, right? Because I don't care about being naked in a public locker room anymore, but I won't necessarily walk around, wash my hands, brush my beard, put deodorant on, put a leg up, and talk to someone while I'm butt naked like an old man will. Old men, they get to the... But there's, levels, right? And that's what happens with men. They stop with the lesbian stuff. And then MILF is next, right? MILF is next. Ebony's close. And then we got Asian, Latina, threesome, BBC, big. It's blurred out. Another one that's blurred out. Anime, stepmom. Another big one, stepmom. I'd like to see the data for this year where stepmom is at. One that's completely blacked out, massage, and black. What's the difference between black and ebony? I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Ebony remained the most viewed category of video for the second year running, ahead of lesbian and MILF. So what is that? I don't understand. Oh, okay. In terms of viewed most often, MILF is still number 3, but Ebony goes to number 1. Okay. All right. So either way, MILF is top tier, okay? You turn on MILF, there's plenty of it. So when you think of who's going to watch this show, it's going to be a lot of it is going to be married women, right, who kind of look at these women. They kind of live vicariously through them. Because I read the synopsis of the show. It literally says that these women are going to be competing for men that are half their age, okay? That's what it said on the synopsis of the show. I'm not going to pick it up, but that's what it is. So that is so middle-aged women around that age can live vicariously through the characters of the show, okay? Because there's not a married woman in the world who would not like to get some 25-year-old to get on top of him and lay the wood more, better than their husband ever would, okay, in recent years, right? If you're 50, these women are going to be between 40 and 60. Okay, again, that's what it said on the thing, 40 and 60. Women that are in that area also have men that are in that age group. They, for most of the people that get to that time, there's not a lot of fucking going on. There's not a lot of fucking, all right? And if there is, it's not great, okay? So the way that they're going to grasp the older woman to watch this show is for the sexual undertones. Okay, every time they show the male contestants, the women who are sitting at home are going to go, ooh, Lord, I wish I was on that show. Ooh, I'd pick him. Right? And then it's going to get the younger audience, the younger women to watch, mainly because of the simple fact that it's just a drama-based show about hot women trying to get with hot guys, and that pretty much seals the deal when it comes to these shows and getting the fan base that watches these shows behind it, mostly women, yes, but there's going to be a difference, okay? Because little boys are going to watch this show. They're going to do it too, but men are going to tune into this show now, okay? They will gladly watch it with their girlfriend because it's a little easier to say that an older woman is attractive. Like if you're watching The Bachelor, okay, with your girlfriend, and you say something, oh, she's hot, your girl's going to be like, what the fuck you talking? But if you're watching Milf Manor, and there's a 6-year-old woman on there, and you say, wow, she's pretty attractive. Your girlfriend's going to be like, yeah, the fuck she is. She's 60. I hope I look that good. And in your head, you just wink. You're like, yeah, got that. And, there's a part of you that's like, every man my age that hasn't smashed a woman in her mid-40s or 50s or whatever the fuck wants to. Every single one has a fantasy, and it draws back from when we were young, right? It draws back from when you were in school and you had that hot-ass gym teacher or social studies teacher or whoever the fuck teacher, and you know that they're older than you, but you want to fuck them. And that doesn't go away. It never goes away. I still have teachers that I went to high school with that if I had the opportunity to, I would fuck. I would do it. Middle school, elementary school, the whole fucking nine. And the ones in elementary school will be way older. Ones in elementary school will probably... Shit, I'm thinking of one right now. She's probably in her early 60s. I'd probably still smash if I saw her one day and had the opportunity to. I'm just saying, guys, that it's a fantasy, okay? And that's why this show is coming to prevalence. It's not because of 30 Rock. Maybe it is, okay? Maybe it is. But that's only a small group of who's going to recognize what that... there's only so many people that are going to say, oh, wait a second, this is that show that they did the spinoff off of that episode of 30 Rock. They're not banking on people who watch 30 Rock to then watch this show. They need to get a bigger audience. So how the fuck are they going to do that? They're going to get sexy-ass older women to get guys to watch it because of them, right? Or to at least stomach to watch it with their girls. And then older women will, like I said, be able to live through these ladies. And that's what the fuck it's going to be. It's going to be a great show, guys. As NBC does or CBS or whatever fucking network it is, they do a great job with everything. Forget what I said earlier. They are great. They do great things. I mean, think about this show. What a good idea. What an original idea. A dating competition show with women who have had so much work done to them and have been able to get stapled in places to make themselves look young. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? What an original fucking idea. How nice is that? One more thing before we wrap this little old episode up. Right now in Russia, there's some things going on. Yes, we can all agree. Russia, Ukraine, the whole nine. And people need to get ingenuitous. People need to be ready for anything that can happen. Whenever you're living in wartime, especially in a place where you could walk outside and get blown to fucking bits, when you're living in a war zone, okay, you got to get ingenuitous. You got to know what the fuck you can get done. You got to watch your P's and Q's. You got to watch your back, okay? You got to understand that there's bad people out there doing bad things, and you don't want to get caught up in the fucking mix, okay? Now, eBay, we all are familiar with eBay, okay? It's an American-based company. Maybe you guys have heard of it. There's a Russian version called Avito, A-V-I-T-O, Avito. And you pay for things with Russian rubles, which right now are worth pretty much nothing. So they're selling something that I think is pretty interesting. And it's funny because eBay has this as well. So if the purpose that this product serves will help us at some point, then at least we have eBay. What the product is are anti-tank pyramids. Okay, there are these pieces of concrete that are delivered to your home and your private property, and they're these massive stone triangles that you can put. It probably looks beautiful for the holidays, right? You invite the family over for Christmas, and do they celebrate Christmas in Russia? Maybe, but they, the pyramids, they look great. Okay, I've seen pictures of them. They're pretty big. They're like, it's like a large-scale version of those homeless spikes that they put out places. You ever been somewhere, a big metropolitan area, New York City, Boston? They don't want homeless people sleeping anywhere. So they put spikes down, right, under a stairwell, on a bench, right? They put which would be kind of counterintuitive, right? Spikes on a bench. Maybe under a bench. I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about. They put spikes there. They don't want the homeless to lay there. They'd rather them lay in the street or on a sidewalk or, somewhere else, right? Don't lay here. Lay over there. This particular area spent money so that you could not sleep over here. You can go sleep over there. They didn't spend any money to prevent you from doing it, but we did. So get the fuck out of here. So if you're in, for all my Russian listeners, you're going to have to go to a veto, and you're going to have to buy yourself some of these anti-tank pyramids, mainly for the holiday. It has to be for the holiday. Soon. Get them as a gift, right? Get them as a gift. We don't know when this war is going to end, guys. Nobody knows when it's going to end. America, if you're in Russia right now, you're sitting there, you're like, God, I thought we'd be done with this shit already. America keeps sending them billions and billions of dollars. Who would have thought? Who would have thought, man, that this would just keep fucking going on? America won't get involved. They won't get involved. Nope, not getting involved. But they keep sending them fucking money. They keep sending them money. What the fuck? I can't even go down to the store and get a box of fucking Russian Cheerios to eat. I can't do anything without the threat of being blown up. This is horrible. This is terrible. What are we going to do? What if they roll in with tanks? What's going to happen? Oh, wait a second. My Uncle Vlad is sending me something in the back. Ooh, wait a second. Honey, come in here. Get the vodka. A veto. You know the app? Remember the app where we bought last year for Christmas? We bought the whole family AKs, right? Kalashnikovs. It was great. Beautiful. Got to see the kids open them up. We went in the backyard, shot fucking squirrels out of trees. It was great. Look what they're selling now. We have some rubles lying around. We could put this on layaway. Look at this. These are so tanks don't roll up to our house. Wouldn't this be nice? We should put this we should put this at the front of our street, and we can kind of ride around it. We have ATVs and the whole thing. We're Russians. We'll ride bears around it. We don't mind. We'll figure it out. We barely work. We don't have real jobs. We just sit and sulk all day and somehow make a living. We drink and shoot animals and each other. And whatever else. We do wild shit. We're fucking Russians, honey. Come on. Why don't we buy these fucking things? It's only 10,000 rubles. It's not that much. It's not that much. Okay? It sounds like a lot, but it's not that much. Not for our safety. Okay? And fuck a alarm system. If a tank rolls up on us, these things are going to be the only defense mechanism we have. We don't have We don't have anti-tank weapons. It's either we're buying this or we're buying anti-tank weapons, honey. I really want to buy both. I want to have a smorgasbord. It looks like they're having a doorbuster sale. If we buy now, we get 30% off. 30% off. Come on. Look at that. They'll even throw in a guard tower. They'll throw in a free guard tower, honey. This is a big part. This could be worth it for us. This could be worth it. I know we want to send the kids to college. I understand. But what the fuck? We might not have kids. We might not have a livelihood if these tanks, these Ukrainian fucking tanks, roll up on us over here. Honey, I'm buying it. I'm buying it. I'm fucking doing it. And that's what the logical Russian would do right now. They would go ahead and they would buy these things. And you know who else would be logical to do it? Doomsday preppers. Doomsday preppers around the world. Okay? Doomsday preppers all over the place. That seems to be like an American thing. It seems like over here we just have money to spend on the possibility, on preparing for the end of the world, right? We just kind of have money to throw around. I've never seen an international version of the show Doomsday Preppers. I'm sure they exist. But I'm sure that a lot of other countries look at doomsday prepping as that's life. Okay, that seems like life, right? If you live in Ukraine, if you live in Russia right now, if you live in some marginalized, shitty fucking country, North Korea, wherever, that seems like life, okay? Preparing for doomsday is just what existence is, okay? If you live in sub-Saharan Africa where there's no food, right? The doomsday is not that fucking far, okay? We make television shows and we make a cool name for it and there's a whole culture behind it. People can buy T-shirts that say Doomsday Prepper and all this stuff. We do that. I don't know if other places do that, but if you're smart, okay, if you're a doomsday prepper and you're looking to start building your compound, which now would be a good time, okay, now is a good time to do it. If I could do it, I would. I flirt with the idea every day of moving to some remote fucking town in Montana, getting a decent job, living like a fucking, living on the cheap for years and years and years, saving enough money to start building a doomsday compound where it's self-reliant and reusable energy, the whole fucking thing, you know. I grow my own food, I hunt, I'm able to live on my own, but I also would want anti-tank pyramids in front of my house or close to my house, right? Somewhat close. And then I would want it along the trail to my bug out location. Okay, I would want that shit there too. I understand, guys. I understand that it may seem a little paranoid, okay, to start doing it here. But I'm just saying, for those people who are in that niche market of doomsday prepper, it may be a good purchase. It may be a good purchase. Now, what they're doing in Russia, it is a good purchase. No, there's no maybe. There's no might be. It makes sense. Okay? For them, it makes sense. What I'm saying is we should do it before it makes sense, before we absolutely have to. And with that, guys, I'm going to leave the rest of your day to yourself. A lot of fun, of course, talking to you guys. I feel good. I feel fucking good, and I hope you guys feel good. I hope you feel good for the rest of your day. Tell your friends about us. Tell your friends that we're going to be stopping the show just as we catch a little bit of a stride. But no, as far as dates go, January 5th, Mohegan Sun, Comics Roadhouse. Come out if you want. It's like a 10 o'clock show, nice and late. That's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for listening. Talk to you on Monday. Peace. Oh, me again. Follow the show. Subscribe on the YouTube. Buy me a coffee. Use the links. Bye-bye.